Hi, welcome to Awakening Soul Truth. I'm Robbie, and this is my friend Allison. We're both Reiki masters and meditation teachers. We live in Nashville, and we're here to tell you healers are healing, whether you even realize it or not.
This year so far, but it is the end of February, and I have spent the last 8 days sick and integrating, and whenever I do get sick, I just kind of bubble and heal. And every healer I know has had major integrations, major realizations. So we're just going to talk about some of them. We're still standing. Robbie and I are still standing.
We were super giddy when this year
Oh
started.
my God. We take that back.
Talking about how excited we were for 2024. No, we still are.
We are.
It's just been a hell of a year so far, and it's only been a month. Month or two.
The amount of isolation that we've been experiencing to heal, the wanting to cocoon, the wanting to grow and integrate, having ownership of the shadow side. I'm not giddy, but the result of all this work is just the softest, sweetest energy that I am feeling inside of myself.
And I'm happy she's saying that right now, because none of this is scripted, and that is something that has been helping me get through some of the difficulties. Is having people like you and another few friends that have this ability to like see the other side, and you're talking about how soft the energy is and how much you're seeing people's hearts open, and meanwhile the rest of us, ourselves included, we're dealing with all this stuff bubbling up.
Yes. And it's bubbling up because we're being asked to let go. We don't necessarily have to, I don't know as much as healing as it is of a letting go. I'm letting go of old beliefs. I'm letting go of false versions of love. I'm letting go of the illusion. And the most beautiful thing is also happening, the ability to see what this awakening is bringing in. The ability to commune and love others instantly, the massive empathy that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That is the greatest part of this. Like, I'm seeing people's shadow side, they're looking all distorted to me, and yet at the same time, I'm having complete and total love and compassion for most everybody I see, right? And I can see their distortedness, and it's like I know that it's dissolving. And I'm staying centered and grounded and not trying to fix everything.
So it's something she shared with me last week, because this ties in with the empathy piece.
Yeah.
I was telling her, like, I like to go out occasionally. I don't go out all the time, but I do like to go out. And I'm finding that when I go out, I want to be there. And then once I'm there, I want to leave.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. I bought tickets to take my boyfriend to the symphony to see this amazing group of African singers on Sunday night. And they were phenomenal. I'm saying phenomenal. And by the time the intermission came, I just looked at him and I'm like, okay, this was fantastic. Can we go home now?
We're done.
I'm finding I can't be around groups of people very long.
Right. I think that's very true. And you also went to a monastery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, did that too over the weekend. I go every year to a silent retreat at Gethsemane Monastery, and there's so many great places that you could actually go do this type of silent retreat. There's a Thich Nhat Hanh one down in Mississippi. There's a yoga-based one or transcendental meditation-based one up in Boone, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I always go to this one in Kentucky. I always sleep like a baby, and I couldn't sleep when I was there. I was disturbed while I was there. People weren't really practicing the silence like they should have been.
Yeah.
And
things are bubbling.
I wasn't going to hear the monks pray as often as I usually do. And I don't know, by the second day, I was like, okay, gotta go home.
Yeah. So if you're nesting, If you're kind of cocooning, if you are feeling this big drive to integrate, honor it. Just honor it. So we also want to share with you another massive healing. And last week we were talking about how when the dark side is healing, it's taking down a layer of darkness, of the dark matrix. Well, I don't know why it didn't occur to me, but as we take this shadow side down, bless you.
Thank you.
As we literally dismantle darkness or clear up the shadow side or integrate it, the most beautiful divine layer, the divine matrix, is spreading and surrounding the earth. And it's just the most beautiful thing to watch. So, should I describe this?
Yes.
Okay. Because we have so many realizations from it. I was on the phone yesterday working with 2 women. Another healer and I were helping a healer heal. 4th healer entered yesterday because I had to call on her. All right, so what happened was I was on the phone with her and I said, what is and where is your biggest grievance? Where is your deepest place of sadness? And her response was the maiming and raping and power over that men have of women. So the dismantling of the divine feminine, the powerlessness that women feel, the place where they become mean and angry towards each other because they aren't being honored and supported, and so it becomes about competition and all the bizarre energy things. So this was what she said, this is my place of deepest anger. And I said, well, you are clearly stuck in a part of your shadow side not integrating, and we need to find the source of it. And whenever we ask for source, it usually goes back thousands and thousands of years in the soul, the soul's experience, and Kali showed up. So can you describe Kali for us?
Oof, Kali Ma is, she's a fierce goddess, and she's on my necklace that I wear all the time. That was gifted to me by my dear friend Kathy. And I don't know, she's always been a goddess that I've always been drawn to because she's considered the mother of compassion. She's the consort of Shiva. She was birthed out of Durga's anger during a war between the demons and the gods. And the gods were losing the battle and went to Durga because she's the goddess of strength and protection and was like, we're going to give you all of our weapons. We need your help. And when she went out into the battlefield, she realized, do you want me to tell this part of the story? She realized that every person or every part of the army from the demon that was slain, when the blood hit the ground, a clone. Now this was a story from 1,000 years ago, thousands of years ago.
The Bhagavad.
And it talks about clones, okay? I think that's fascinating.
Yep.
So these clones were popping up, and she wasn't, winning because every time she tried to take one down, another one would pop up. And so out of her anger and her realization about what was happening, out of her third eye comes Kali. And Kali takes the demons down. She's fierce. A lot of people are scared of her. In fact, remember when we went out to eat at the Indian restaurant? Someone noticed my necklace and he was like, you need to be careful. Like, don't mess with Kali. And I'm like, Kali's my girl.
So she's super fierce, protective. She's part of the birth and death, rebirth cycle.
Yes.
So she is
transformation.
She's very much has creation and transformation energy.
Yes.
It's intense. Well, Kali came to heal her shadow side. And it was literally, I called on Robbie immediately, energetically, because I don't know much about Kali. And Kali was walking with my client, and they were in a place of, they do what I do. This woman heals the underbelly. She helps release souls to the light. She clears darkness. They transform energy that is stuck into movement and light and love and balance, right? So that's like that transfer of being stuck in non-movement, frozen, ghost form into light, love. You know, some people might call it heaven, the crossing into the divine. It doesn't matter. It's the release of energy from fear into love, right? So Kali shows up. I call on Robbie. So now I have the four of us working together, plus deities, and these dark energy starts to show up. And I literally see another version of what I call the devil. The good news is he wasn't bright and shiny this time. Really, really helpful. The dark energy is really losing power. And I was asking him, you know, why did you take the power? Or I said, we have to take and restore the power to women. They need their creation energy back. They need to be validated as the divine feminine. We have to make this whole. The raping has to stop. And that's my prayer. So when I am taking down prayers, I am calling upon the transformation, the shift. The rape of women has to heal. Their power has to be restored. And again, going back to source, asking source, like, where did this first happen? So I decided once I saw this male energy show up, and he's kind of fractured and like stone-like, and you can see the veins and the anger. And she had also, the client who we were healing, who this was transforming through, had a recent realization of her family line and lineage, going back and seeing one very selfish man who maimed women and took their power. So she not only had an ancestral line that she was connecting with, but now we have this soul trauma that's healing. And the more light we put on it, the more prayer we put on it, we started to see all of these women dressed in traditional Indian beautiful saris. Is that what they are?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they started to flow out of Kali and out of my client and make this beautiful spiral. And they were of all different colors, hairstyles, time periods, swirling in the spiral and spiraling into the divine. And once that started, you couldn't stop it. It was so beautiful. And I'm noticing that souls, when they cross, like sometimes they cross as pink bubbles popping, or they might cross with angels showing up and helping them transfer. And then this other way of the spiral of love. And it's a continuous, beautiful healing and just releasing. And then I started to notice 12 goddesses, including Kali. It was almost like an egg was cracking, like the energy was releasing so much that 12 goddesses appeared. And I had asked you this morning, is there a traditional story of Hindu belief of 12 goddesses? And you said no.
I don't know. No,
Right.
I don't know.
we don't know. We couldn't find it. We tried to look at it. And so what we determined was that
There's thousands of these goddesses.
Yes.
That was what was my answer. So I'm not sure what the definitive 12 was, but
Right. And I don't either, but they gathered. And they literally formed a circle. And that spiral had kind of finished. And they focused their energy, their heart, their eyes, their their love into a center point. And that center point opened up into the eye of truth. It was so beautiful. I kept thinking it was just the eye of truth, that there is truth, to see the truth. And as that eye opened, as it like started to radiate, that dark male energy literally was sucked into it and boom. And out of, like, sucked, gone, never even saw it, didn't even need to cross him. I don't even know what happened there. It was spectacular. But out of it came this golden, like 22 karat gold color light that literally filled the women and just made the most incredible ring around the earth, a layer of pure light. And then the next thing I noticed was that all of these men, because we kept saying we have to heal the divine masculine. You can't heal the divine feminine without healing the divine masculine. They have to come into their truth, because divine masculine energy would never rape and maim and steal the power of a woman. Ever. They would always honor. All of these beautiful male energies, male gods and women, goddesses, like literally high vibrational beings, woke up. It's like they unfroze. They literally started to transform and come to light. And then after that, my client, I looked over at her and I'm like, it's time for your body to heal. And literally red blood energy, not real physical form, gushed from her first and second chakra. Just opened up like a flood of pure, what do you call that? Life force energy.
Life force energy.
Pure life force energy flowing like a column, bigger than her legs, just flowing into the earth. Just flowing. And it wasn't gross. It was the flow of life force energy. It was fantastic. And then I'm like, you've got to be calm with yourself. She became the tree of life, but bejeweled.
Oh, nice.
It was so beautiful. But that flow was restored. It was amazing how many women healed from that. How many people were released from that shadow side. And my takeaway from it was the shadow side of Kali, or the shadow side of Hinduism, healed. Integrated. And this might be a big fantastical story, right? And that's okay. The symbolism, look into the symbolism.
What I love about it is, because you don't know much about Kali, and I just love that, because she has this reputation of being angry and fierce.
Yeah, it was scary to go into.
That you were able to heal that aspect of her so that she can totally come back not only into her power, but hopefully it'll start changing people's perception of her as well.
Yes.
Because, like I said, she's also supposed to be like the mother of compassion.
Yeah.
So.
And she was stuck in the stealing of her energy, the raping of her power. It's a hard word to say and hear, but Kali's anger and that shadow side, and now being able to allow the compassion and the flow to stop fighting.
No, I was going to talk about the pink, because you mentioned the pink several times, and it's fascinating that she brought this up today, because last week I was doing these meditations based on Mary Magdalene, and the Mary Magdalene meditations I was working with, it was that blood-rich red, and it was going into the pockets or areas within you to help to heal the places, especially that have been discarded, ignored, raped, just all the things that just push that feminine energy down, or any energy down really, but especially the feminine energy.
The repression.
And then through these meditations, I naturally started turning it into a pink, because my idea with that last week was, Mary Magdalene's been pushed down through history not being that much of an important character, even though we know she was such an important character. And I thought about, well, that's interesting that it's red, and red is the root chakra, and red is the most dense of the, energetic layers that connects us back to the third dimensional world, or planet. And I turned it into pink because we've talked about pink being the secondary color of the heart, or representing the higher heart. And, pink's just softer. It's softer and more feminine. And anyway, in that meditation, I had changed it to pink. But you had this epiphany.
No, my client did.
Oh, your client had an epiphany, and when she shared it with me, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
It's saying that was like made total sense. So say
yeah. So if you put the root chakra red, mix it with the crown chakra white, then the heart's in the middle. That blending is the pink.
Yes, my client said this, and I was like, duh.
So fascinating.
Yes, the mixing of the colors in the heart, because the heart's the center chakra.
Yep.
The other thing is to know that you said the month
It's
of
also
March.
the divine masculine and feminine coming together at the heart. I just thought of that.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So as the divine feminine healed, so did the piece of the divine masculine.
Yeah. Well, we just want to encourage you to keep on healing. March is this month where, as you said earlier, we're literally going to start seeing the value of love, and people that are aligned with truth being supported in ways that are amazing to finally be validated. And Ravi has started to experience this yesterday after this massive healing happened.
Well, I don't know if it was after. It was the same day, though.
Well, when did you start to get that news?
Yesterday morning.
Oh, okay.
And then the last part was last night.
Okay.
So it was both.
Okay.
My day was bookmarked with really good news and finances coming to me that I didn't expect. And that's always been like a hiccup of mine.
Yeah.
Not feeling or being supported. And wow, was I so supported yesterday unexpectedly alongside this healing.
That's just phenomenal. So her car went into the shop and she needed it fixed, and the perfect amount of money showed up.
The perfect amount of money, like almost to the dollar amount.
It's really great.
Yeah.
So for all of us healers who have been sidelined and I'm going to use a big word, crucified, taken out, burned. Oh my God, I totally forgot to tell you about another part of this.
Okay.
The healing last night, right? So my mind, takes it a while to... The client we were working with, when I saw her energy, she was hanging upside down. And her healer and this person that I was working with to heal the other one, she was hanging upside down because the energy was upside down. The divine feminine energy was turned upside down, and her feet were bound by this awful cord.
Wow.
And she couldn't get the blood to flow because literally
she was upside
She
down.
was upside down. Okay, just remembered that part. That was significant because at the end, when she flipped back over, that's when the blood started gushing and flowing.
And that's why they say not to do inversions while you're having your menstrual cycle.
Yeah, don't do
Don't
that.
Don't do inversions.
Okay.
Interesting.
It was fascinating. But it's also the shadow side turns everything upside down.
Of course it does.
And that's what we're healing. And therefore, truly, if we are coming into...
That was not an evil laugh. That was a celebratory laugh.
Oh, well, it's your pain healing out of all these years of being outcast because of your beliefs. And we're not saying our beliefs are the right way. We're simply stating that when people are aligned with truth and divine truth, that there is divine truth, and this planet and humanity is learning how to honor it. That's the awakening. We're unfreezing stuck energy. We're awakening so that there's this direct relationship between seeing truth and experiencing truth. Being honored because you're aligned with love. That's the whole goal. I'm so excited. I'm back to being excited and motivated for 2024.
We hope you are too.
Namaste.
Namaste.